Well, hello. Welcome back to Soul Search Sunday with Johnny Tiger. The date is October 23rd, 2022. Happy birthday to one of my best friend, Harvey. Harvey and we've been friends for almost 23 years. He's almost like a fatherly figure for me. I saw Harvey today, so I did wish him happy birthday. Got him a birthday cake. Hope he's enjoying that right now. Now back to our regularly scheduled program, Soul Search Sunday. There's an old Chinese proverb that goes something like, "It's always the best bird that gets shot down, and it's always the best horses that get ridden." It's a proverb that attempt to teach us the virtue of staying low key and uh, show us the folly of being too prideful and being too full of yourself. When I teach self-defense, when I teach Krav Maga, there's a term that we use in Krav Maga a lot, and a lot of people, when they first hear this term, they feel very resentful about it. But it is well-meaning. The term is, if you want to defend yourself against attackers, you need to first learn how to play pussy. Play pussy, play the wimp, play possum. Basically, learn to be scared. It is okay to be scared. It is okay to be confused. It is okay to feel pain. You don't need to pretend that you're a badass all the time. Through our daily life, we'll see a lot of examples. There's always that one guy or one girl who seems so confident, so uncompromising, so hardcore, so badass, right? And make no mistake about it, a lot of people pat them on the back and stroke their ego. You are such an inspiring person. You never back down. You never back down from anybody. You are such a force of nature. Yada yada yada. But don't let that fool you. Those praises and compliments and pats on the back and chummy admiration only last as long as this person does not meet the one person who put them in their place. As soon as something happens that this person gets victimized, really bad, then suddenly people's comments change. Oh, you see, so and so should have been more low key. See, she or she is not as badass as this other one. See, so and so put them in their place. Yeah, they deserve that. Yeah, how the mighty have fallen. Back when I was on this social media, sort of like a social experiment for blind people. It's a audio platform, a little bit like Facebook, but it was all done by recorded messages, and you can, when you hear a recording, you can respond to it and stuff like that. It's called Voreo. It's still there. If you want to, you can download the Vorel app on your phone and try it out. You could spell Vorail, I believe. Back when I was on Vorel, I saw people like this all the time. There was this one lady. I'm not going to give her name, just in case. Um, there was this one lady who, when she was on Vorel, when she was on social media, she was like the queen of the world. Anyone who offended her, she had to let them know right away. She make recordings how she lay out everybody's fault and dresses down people and point out how stupid people were sounding, point out how silly people were with their background noises, and she make so many recordings, and she had a great big following. There was all these people following behind her. And then, wow, you are so cool. Yeah, yeah, we agree with you. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Let them have it. Let them have it. You are the queen. You are the best. You are so badass. But you know what? Whenever there were backlashes, when these people that she went after started hitting back, she couldn't take it. And it got so bad that she was getting hate mails as they were finding out her personal information, threatening her children. She couldn't take that. She couldn't take that. She went to the police. There's nothing they could do about it. She went to the admin of the app. There was nothing they could do about it. Basically, it came down to, hey, you wanted to play with fire. You wanted to be the most badass of all the uh, female. Uh, you want to be a celebrity on the app. In another word, you want to be the alpha. Well, that's what you get. So today, let's talk a little bit about the art of playing pussy because this is something that is so important, and I say so important because this was something that I myself had to learn at a young age. Make no mistake about it, Johnny Tiger has always been quite arrogant and full of myself. Especially when I was a child. I mean, come on, look at me. I grew up in a kind of family that my daddy was super badass. No one dare messing with my daddy, and my dad made a lot of money. When I was little, I had chauffeur, I had housemaid, uh, all that stuff. My dad had bodyguard. It's like growing up being the son of a royalty. So, needless to say, for my early childhood, I didn't know what it meant to be low key. I didn't know why I should be low key. I remember this one time when I was, I believe, 6 years old, and I wanted something to eat, and the housemaid at the time was busy mopping the floor, so she told me to wait a little bit, and I immediately told her off, and in no uncertain term, you are working for me. If I tell my dad, he can fire you right away. I did the whole little kids temper tantrum thing. Uh, in my head at the time, I felt I have the right. You work for me. I want something to eat. You get it for me now. Why should I wait? My nanny, Maru, who I've spoken about at length, Maru is a person who taught me a lot about right and wrong. Maru heard the way I was talking to the housemaid. Maru came up to me, grabbed me by the ear, and dragged me into the bedroom, and proceeded to spank me on my butt, and I was kicking and screaming. And one thing that Maru said to me that I still remember today. Maru said, "You think your daddy is going to be here to save you? Your daddy is rich, yes, and yes, I work for your daddy, just like the maid out there. You think you can talk to us like this and without getting any consequences? Your daddy can fire me later, but who's going to save you now? Huh? Who's going to save me now? She didn't hurt me really badly. Like the spanking hurt, but there was no like actual injury. She was very careful with that. She was good with that. Um, but the lesson stuck. The lesson stuck. Oh, yeah. I am smaller than they are. I probably should be a little bit more low key about it. So one of the times when we want to remember to play pussy, to be low key, to play possum, is when we are an obvious inferior place, whether physically or otherwise. Uh, yes, it feels good to be badass. Yes, you might be able to bring down consequences later, but right here and now, you got to remember there's another person, maybe there are other people that can really put you in your place if they want to. Doesn't matter how important you are, doesn't matter how rich you are, doesn't matter how smart you are. Another example of good time to learn to be low key to play pussy is when you obviously need to depend on someone for something. Most cases, it's your career. If you need to depend on someone for your career, if you need to depend on someone for your education, then you want to probably keep that at a low key when you can. Don't be so full of yourself and uh, be all self-righteous and stuff like that. Because you know what? The moment the person that you have to depend on had enough of you, they can shut you down really, really quickly, and you don't even have any way to counter that. Okay, let me give you guys a real life example on this one. This one is to do with Jackie Chan. Yeah, that international movie star, Kung Fu God, Jackie Chan, Kung Fu comedian. We all know who Jackie Chan is. I don't need to tell you guys more about him. Okay, did you know that Jackie Chan once messed up the entire career of an actress? Yeah, I bet some of you are like, what? Jackie Chan is such a nice guy. Why would he do that? Well, a few years ago, during one of Jackie Chan's birthday parties, a very lesser known actress, we'll call her Sherry because it's not really important. Sherry is not that important. She could have been important, but she messed that up. You'll understand when I finish the story. So at Jackie Chan's birthday party, there were a lot of well wishers, and Sherry showed up at the party, and Sherry and Jackie Chan sort of agreed to put their differences behind them. And Sherry said to Jackie Chan, I wish that I never offended you. I wish I knew what I was doing because it destroyed my life. So what did Jackie Chan do? Like, what happened? Like, it's so devastating. Let's go back to uh, in the mid 1980s, 1985, 1986, in Hong Kong. 1985, 1986, there was a very beautiful, very successful upstart actress in Hong Kong by the name of Sherry. Sherry just finished making some really, really blockbuster movies. Like she got nominated for awards left, right, center. She got awards coming out of her yin yang, and she was only like 23 years old. Sherry was beautiful, talented, multilingual, just the rising star in everybody's eyes. And for her next movie, Sherry had to work on a movie set that was directed by Jackie Chan. Now, a lot of you don't realize that Jackie Chan actually has quite a bad temper. If you look at his biography, he'll talk about that. Uh, he's not always a funny guy like you and I see him on the screen. Okay, so Sherry was successful and beautiful and all that stuff, but Sherry had a problem. Sherry was so successful that she believed she was a gift to the movie industry. She believed that as long as she did no wrong, no one could do anything about it. So Sherry had a lot of attitude. On the set, if Jackie Chan told her to do something, if she liked it, she'd do it. If she didn't like it, she'd say, I don't want to do it. This is how I would do this part. And she would change the script on the fly. And she would show up late, knowing that people would have to wait for her because her role was so important. She gave Jackie Chan so much attitude during the set. Finally, Jackie Chan got pissed off. Jackie Chan picked up the phone, called the most prominent directors at the time in Hong Kong. There were four or five of them that were like basically the gods, the granddaddies of directors. So Jackie Chan called them and said, "This girl Sherry, I really think we shouldn't work with her. She is not good to work with." That's all he said. And that effectively shut down Sherry's entire career. After that movie, Sherry couldn't get any role for the next 10, 20 years. This is why a rising star like Sherry in the end became an actress that no one ever heard of, no one ever knew about, and not even all that important. If Sherry did not offend Jackie Chan by giving him so much attitude, it's quite likely that today Sherry would be on the same level as some of the biggest name internationally, with here internationally, like Donnie Yen, Jackie Chan, some of these people. But too bad, Sherry did not know when to ring that in, when to put a lid on it. And she made the critical mistake by thinking that because she was talented, because she was good, and no one could do anything to her, there's always someone out there that can do something to you. So if you are in a position that your success, it doesn't matter career, job, education, I don't even want to go into my guide dog's story again. I told it twice, but that's another example of why you need to know how to keep things low key. If your success is depending on someone else, then yeah, it's very important to learn how to play possum, uh, keep it down, keep it low key. Um, there's a very good little advice that I heard once, and I want to pass it on to you guys before I forget about it. It said, when you are doing something, when you are trying to get things done, that is when you want to be high key, when you want to be alpha, when you want to have that attitude. But as soon as it's time to interact with people, when you're socializing, when you're talking to people, then you want to be low key. So low key when you're socializing, interacting with people, and be overachieving and all full of yourself when it's time to get things done. That that is almost like a little key to success right there. Okay, so if there's nothing else that you take away from the video today, keep that in mind. When you are talking to people, interacting with people, socializing, keep it low key. And if you are act, uh, taking action, getting things done, then yeah, go ahead, bring out that attitude. It's fine. Just like Sherry, there was another real story that this happened when I was I just finished university and just got into the workforce, and it didn't happen to me, but happened to a lady at work, and it's a good learning material. So there was this lady at work that, again, very highly accomplished, a lot of degrees, very, very smart, uh, really knew her job. And she came to work every day thinking that she was better than the boss, she was better than the manager, she was the smartest there at work. And maybe she was, okay? I'll give her that. Maybe she was. But you know what? What happened is you keep that up after a while everybody at work hates you. So that's what happened. Everybody at work hated her. And in the end, she got fired because a bunch of them banded together uh, to frame her for something. A bunch of the people at work banded together to basically oust her. And even when she tried to prove that she was innocent. She didn't do what they say she did. Even the boss didn't show any sympathy. The boss basically like, well, I thought you are the best. I thought you're so smart. How come how come now you are saying you're blaming it on other people when you didn't accomplish your assignment? Yada yada yada. She got fired. So this is one of those more darker side of humanity that we got to remember. Just because you are good at what you do, just because you might think you are the best, don't forget one of your coworkers, two of your coworkers might not be able to do anything to you, but 10 of them, 20 of them, if the boss is on their side, I'm sorry, you're gone. It doesn't matter how good you are. So, in cases where you have to work with a large group, that's another time when it's so important to uh, put a lid on that and bring that self-righteousness and arrogance and that chip on your shoulder down a few notches. Stay low key, be generous and kind to people. Don't try to prove that you're better than everybody else because when they don't like you, bad things can really happen. Speaking of bad things, I'm going to talk about two, again, real life examples just to illustrate why, even when there's no career involved, even when your success is not even in question, it is still a good idea to be low key, to play pussy in your daily life. Right? First example I'm going to give you, uh, this happened like about 10 years ago in a Chinese hot pot restaurant here in Richmond. A customer got into an argument with the waiter. Something about I did not order this, or this is not cooked to my satisfaction, and I told you how I want this to cook, and the waiter rather than doing the usual thing like how most waiters, oh, I'm sorry, I'll give you another one free of charge, something like that. The waiter argued back, no, you did not say you wanted beef, you said pork. I heard you say pork. What do you mean? You want beef? You want beef now? Okay, you got to pay for pork and beef. Okay, so they started arguing, argue. And then both of them got very aggressive. And then the customer uh, called for the manager, and the manager came out, and the customer explained to the manager what happened, and the manager started uh, basically giving shit to the waiter right in front of everybody in the restaurant, and told the waiter, Today, you don't have to work anymore. Okay? If you want to argue with the customer, we don't want you here. What happened next was beyond everybody's uh, imagination. Maybe the waiter was a little bit mentally disturbed or suffered from some mental condition that we don't know about. In a fit of rage, he reached over and scooped up a ladle of hot broth from the hot pot and dumped it over the head of the customer. Yeah, okay. So in this case, we can say, okay, well, no, you don't know when you're going to run into some crazy guy like that. Yeah, but this could have been avoided, right? Look, most of us are going to sympathize with the customer because he got burned, and he got attacked by a crazy guy. But when you really sit down and think about this whole incident, he could have avoided. He was responsible partially for this too, because if I ordered beef and I didn't get beef, and I tried to make a point of it, and the waiter giving me attitude. Okay, fine, fine, okay. No, I just won't come here and eat here again. Or I'll just go home and then I'll phone the manager and complain to the manager. There's a lot of ways to do this rather than uh, arguing with the waiter in front of everybody and then call the manager right there and the manager giving the waiter a hard time in front of everybody, and probably everything led up to that attack in the end. Right? Like I said, you never know. You never know if you're dealing with a person that is stable or not. So it is always good to keep that in mind. Yeah, did, did the waiter get fired? Yes, he did. Did he have to go to jail? I don't think so, because I think they did prove that he had depression and mental instability and all that stuff. So the worst that happened to him was he had to spend some time in the psych ward. But the customer ended up having to spend months, if not years, recovering from those burns on his head and face. So yes, the waiter was in the wrong, 100%. But in the end, who got off easy? Probably the waiter. Okay, so when you are dealing with situations in your lifetime, sometimes it feels good. Sometimes it feels satisfying to raise our voice because we know we are right. Sometimes it feels satisfying to stick to our gun because we know we are right. But always remember, the person you're dealing with may just be unstable enough that to escalate this whole thing to a level that you are not willing to go. Okay. Um, I'll close this off by telling you the last example. This is from an online article that I saw detailing a true account. There were just two women, let's say Mary and Sally. Okay, let's give them a name. Mary and Sally were at a marketplace. Mary and Sally stopped at a fruit vendor that was selling all kind of fruit, watermelon, pineapple, and stuff like that. And like a lot of women, especially when women are shopping together, they were chatting and trying to pick the best looking fruit. They were taking their sweet old time about it. They took a long time. And in the beginning, the fruit vendor was there answering questions and trying to interest them in the fruit. But after a while, he got bored. He went to the back room and got busy with other things because Sally and Mary were taking way too long, just talking and taking the sweet time picking the fruit. So because when they finally were ready to make their purchases, they couldn't find the vendor because he's in the back room doing something. And they tried to call him and he didn't answer because maybe the marketplace was very noisy and he didn't hear them. So as a result, Mary and Sally went and bought fruit from the vendor next to him, the next vendor. Just as they were paying for the fruit at the next vendor, the original vendor came back out, and he saw these two women are buying from his neighbor. This guy immediately started uh, making uncomplimentary remarks. What the hell? Some people they waste your time, fill up your fruit, make a mess, and then they don't even buy from you. And some people they don't even have to do anything. They just sit there and they benefit, and then people buy from them. What? There's no justice in the world. What the hell is wrong with this world? And I mean, I'm just giving you guys an idea of what he's talking about. He was using really bad languages. I don't want to repeat here. So Sally, who was a lawyer, immediately felt insulted because you know she's buying fruit and this other vendor is standing there cussing her out and making uncomplimentary remarks, and she immediately wanted to go over there and argue with him. And Mary stopped him. Mary grabbed her by the sleeve and paid for the fruit they were buying, and quickly dragged her friend away. And as they were walking out of the market, Sally was, why you pull me away? That guy is such a lout. That guy is so unreasonable. Did you hear what he was saying about us? Did you hear the name he was calling us? I can sue him. I can go back. And Mary said, if you want to sue him, go home and do that. Okay? Don't do it. Don't argue with him. Did you see what happened to the vendor we were buying from when he was raising holy hell? The vendor we were buying from didn't even want to look in his direction. The vendor we were buying from basically just kept his head down, pretend he didn't hear it. So that tells me that that guy does this a lot, and people have learned not to get involved with him. And even if, yes, we were in the right, yeah, it's our right to buy from whoever we want. Yes, he's totally wrong for calling us name. But did you see how big that knife is on his counter? Right? If you want to go argue with him, and he suddenly decide that he's pissed off, and he grabs that knife, what are you going to do? So in this case, even though Sally is a lawyer and she might be very book smart, she know how to sue people, how to win court cases, Mary is clearly the smart, intelligent, wise person because Mary was able at that instant to make the observation, oh, that guy has a knife on his counter, and oh, this other vendor is not even arguing with him, so obviously uh, that's a guy people don't want to mess with and make the connection and take her friend out of that situation. A lot of time when we have to play pussy, when we have to play possum and stay low key and uh, take it. When people give it to us, we take it. It may make us feel really bad after we sit down and think about it and say, I should have been more assertive, I should have been more aggressive. But it's all built on the premise that you believe nothing bad would happen to you, right? Just imagine if you were aggressive and assertive and then something bad happened. Maybe now you would be sitting in the hospital and think, oh, maybe, just maybe, I should have been a little bit more passive and low key about it. Now, I'm not saying that we should go through our life, live our life in fear and always keeping our head down because we think everyone out there can be a psycho. Everyone can stick it to us if we even raise our voice. No, you still have to speak up for your right when you uh, need to. But before you do so, it is a good idea to look around you. See, is this person someone I can really afford to offend? Is this person stable? is this person likely to escalate this to a level that I am unwilling to go? The art of playing pussy is really quite intricate, and a lot of people uh, find it very difficult to stomach in the beginning. But it is a very good survival skill that hopefully will keep you and I safe. Thank you for checking out today's Soul Search Sunday. We'll be back again tomorrow for some Music Monday. For now, have a good night.